Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Final Show Films. Sorry, I don't get to that part until a few seconds later. I'm Sen, your executive producer. I want to thank you all for tuning in. I want to thank our $20 tier supporters over at patreon.com/FSFilm. Those being Cat Waterflame, Samantha Bates, Kevin Alexander, and the Shards. Over the years, which would be the things that we do now. So, those of you that are watching live, please sit back, relax. And we're live. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Gran Terra Shadowfront. I'm Sen, your executive producer, game master, and the volume just kicked. And joining me today is Mara.
Hi, there's Craig. Craig just got here.
Hey.
Great timing.
So it turns out when the road to your home is closed and you live on a fucking peninsula, that's a problem.
Oh no. We're glad you're here and not the bottom of the peninsula.
We're just doing introductions, so Mara.
Oh shit, are we live?
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah,
we're live. Yes. Hi, I'm Mara. I'm playing Titania Valkorian, a Ladrin Druid princess, arch druid of the Grim Harvest, avenging sort of personage. That's pretty much it.
Avenging, just adding things to it now.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep doing that until we're done. So, depending on how long this goes, it could be a whole 5 minutes.
And a person who recently discovered how to fly, Craig.
Hi, I am hugely embarrassed because I didn't check or realize we were live before I started talking. But I am also playing someone who never checks anything before he starts talking, Grumman Velmender, Way of the Drunken Master Monk, and also a cleric.
And Holly.
Hi, I'm Holly. I am playing Vespia, a tiefling chandler.
And Shani.
Hi, I'm Shani, and I'm playing Valdez Stonebeard, Dwarven Samurai and Reaper and Thane of House Stonebeard.
And Ashlyn.
Hi, I'm Ashlyn. I'm playing Ithram Valar, Hobgoblin War Wizard.
Also, I forgot to say it earlier. For whatever reason, looking at you right now, my brain is going. Don't know why.
I can actually see it. Yes.
Okay. I mean, I'm not angry.
Oh, yeah, I see it too.
Transformed into Felicia Day.
Okay.
I
can absolutely see it.
I've activated something into other people.
Man, it's like the Manchurian Candidate all over again.
It's called imagination.
That's what I would attribute it to.
No, just for whatever reason. Anyways,
we're definitely being brainwashed into becoming assassins, which then allows us to see this.
Yes, once you become an assassin, you can see Felicia Day.
That has disturbing implications.
I gotta go and write a dystopian sci-fi novel.
You see, she has advantage on stealth rolls until that point.
I like the idea of there are just people you can't see until you're until you are a specific job.
It's like by visibility day.
That actually already works in reverse with like people in food service where you can't see them after you achieve a certain level of.
I mean, to be fair, there is a certain point when you are a wrestling journalist where you can eventually see John Cena. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to interview him.
It's just interview. Thinking it's John. Anyways, also joining me. Off the rails where we live is Jeremy.
Would we ever want to be anywhere else, though?
In Eberron,
I don't
yes.
know.
This is true, and
Now I want to play in what do they call it? Fuck. The person that just like constantly rides the like lives on the lightning rail. Like, never on.
In,
Vagabond.
in Eberron and that one demiplane of dread that is just a ghost train.
yes,
There's a demiplane of dread that's just a
yes,
ghost
this
train.
is Keith
I need to
Baker
know
has
more.
written.
Hang on.
Keith
Just-
Baker has written a what happened to Seer when the day of mourning happened was this version is that the whole area that is now the Mournlands was just pulled into Ravenloft. And so there is a fucking train that everybody is stuck on. It's amazing.
But not everybody.
Anyways.
Because they're either stuck there or they're stuck in the capital city of Seer, which is a different domain of dread.
Yes.
Choo-choo, motherfuckers.
Anyways, hi, I'm Jeremy. I am playing Sin, who is a changeling blood hunter with a sprinkle of rogue.
A sprinkle of rope. Oh, rogue.
Rogue.
Sorry, I thought
Rogue.
like a
You know,
sprinkle of
that
rope.
other
It's
class
like,
I
what?
have.
Just a soupçon of murder.
As always, Black Lives Matter. Trans rights are human rights. And this stream, a Sirenscape, much to the surprise of my players.
And fuck Tennessee.
Just gonna click some
Fuck
stuff.
Tennessee.
Look, I'm Tennessee is our hat, so if I say anything mean about them, they'll shoot me.
Fuck 'em.
But when last we left off, the Steelhearts had been yoinked out of the Feywild, because in scientific terms, back in Taram, shit's got real, and the coalition of defenders of Taram, operating out of Grifftop, needed them to come back early in order to take what is going to be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to kill Ternalian once something happens. Divine Realms. Dagoth has sacrificed his power and his life to empower Abrunar, the former Archdruid of the Grim Harvest, to ascend to the mantle of God of Death, and upon doing so, he managed to craft a dagger out of one of Dagoth's former antlers, using a spark of Eidos that had been trapped inside Gent's erstwhile unknowing father, to a dagger of mortality. Anya. And was promptly yanked away to the Divine Realms. Now, waiting for some sort of signal, Abrunar, the party has retreated back to their long since home of their manor state in Grifftop, which has seen better days, as recent times has had Sin taking up residence there, and Titania's mother's zombies pile driving feet through the walls. But they've taken a rest. They've had a war meet. They've had a war council. You head out. Yeah, you've headed out to the war council. I think is where we actually left off. If I remember calling correctly.
Yes.
Valmeth had given some stirring speeches about the war count.
Yeah.
To
Yeah,
the war
yep,
council
yep,
and
yep,
everyone
yep.
all
Yes,
present.
Valdis had given us during speech. And now it is planning time. So you are there with the war council. They have given you the full rundown of the forces that are available at the moment. There is a fleet of dwarven battleships, wave crashers specifically, anchored just under the surface of the water off the coast or outside the ports, waiting to charge the ports of Taram once they're given a signal. There are teleportation circles being prepped in order to bring the legions of desolation over across the channel. There are summoners who are preparing to find elemental creatures. There are apparently some amount of dragons on the way at the behest of Max and Daedalus, Great Worm that ripped the Steelhearts from the Feywild. And there are the Griffins of Grifftop who are being organized. Darren, the Steelhearts, to figure out their insertion plan. The rest of the league. The two options that have been presented to you have been a potentially magical or physical insertion into the sewers of Taram. Though finding or creating an entrance is going to be necessary there, as teleportation magics are iffy at best. Or, if you go the long way, circle around to the south of the mountain range that Taram sits atop, and southern entrance mines. Take longer, but likely less frequent enemies.
I thought it was the other way around because the mines you
Yeah.
have a direct entrance in, but the mines are also where a lot of the demons have been brewing.
The mines have a
Yeah.
direct
Yeah.
entrance. There's a lot of fiendish activity in the mines close to Taram. Not all throughout the mines.
Whereas the sewers
has very
are
little.
harder to find, but are less likely to have things in them.
Has
that
no,
aren't
no.
demons
They're
anyway.
less likely to have fiends in them. They're not going to have any fiend sewers, but there are going to be lots of other things, and it's going to be a lot close quarters. So the deviation point is that the sewers are a maze. The sewers are a maze full of creatures that aren't going to have fiends in them, and it's probably going to be quicker. The mine is a much longer, more straightforward path. It's going to have fiends in it. It's going to take longer, but like as far as enemy per yard, we'll have less enemies overall in it.
Yeah. The
But
thought.
they will be fiends, which are going to be a pain in the
Correct.
ass.
They're going to be fiends.
Yeah.
Potentially difficult to fight, and also potentially difficult to keep your interest stealthy.
Secret. That's why we had thought the sewers.
Alternatively,
Also, because the maze-like nature of the sewers can be countered by find the path.
Yes.
fair. Yeah.
Which I have. Now that I have redistributed my spells.
Yeah. So is that the plan you're going to go with? Do you want to elaborate any more?
I feel like if we make any further plans than this, relying on the distraction being provided by the teams outside, then it's just more room for things to go wrong.
Absolutely.
Also, while we're in the tunnels, I can also see the location of specific people. If there was anyone we still know who's in the city that might be able to support us. Do we have any information on that?
No one of particular. Geist Koenig indicates as he continues to smoke his cigar with his feet up. Most of the people that are find are going civilians that were not able to escape, or we have not been able to. The Legion has been doing much to rescue it. Are left to. The only things left now might be. Pauses for a second and thinks about how he wants to word. The dead in Ram are either quiet or possessed, I guess would be the best. Your uncle Varnabas has been seen, but he is no longer.
And you have necromancy going around then.
No, not necromancy. Wearing.
Ah, Dybbuk's. Wonderful. Fucking.
Yes, we've seen a few
That's
people.
a problem that needs to be resolved.
There are a few people. These are. He pulls up a list. He pulls up a few. He just pulls up documentation and goes through it. Barnabas as one of them. Also, just while he's sort of looking through the list, your cousin name I can't remember, but definitely was left behind.
Crunchy, my cousin.
No.
No, my cousin,
Yeah.
the guard. Oh God, hang
Yep.
on. Let me find. Where's my shit?
Uh,
Fuck. Damn it.
I don't pronounce her name.
Deirdre.
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 Yeah.
Deirdre Alexia Valkorian also been seen. As has a former member of the Steelhearts, Ariel.
That one's older than this invasion.
Awkward.
Swear to God, if she has a southern accent.
That would be
Southern Torontian accent.
that would be peak irony, and also I would absolutely fucking murder it if it was using Ariel's body.
Wouldn't we murder that one anyways?
Oh,
Though?
100%, but it's a long story.
No, I
I think Sin has
have
fought.
a certain level of awareness of that situation.
Yeah, no, Sin has fought that demon.
I believe so.
Yeah, you were there when.
I believe that was the first time we met. You guys were fighting.
No, then we went back to the city.
No, the first time you
And
met
that's
was
where you
when
found-
was when they were fleeing Taram.
Yeah.
But when they went to the hive of ruin,
Mhm.
the bounty hunting demon appeared, and Sin was definitely with the party at that point.
Ah, fair enough.
Y'all actually fought the demon that was hunting Kent. And the demonic general though, and the bounty hunter.
I just assumed that also that was one of the many things that Shithead had told Sin before.
I mean, you could definitely known about it before.
Yeah.
Also had fought him.
Yep.
There are other members of the legions and other members of Syrian society, but those three seem pertinent to your group.
Good to know.
Keep an eye out. They have many of the people that we have seen fallen and been ridden by the fiends carry the same magical armaments and gear that they had in life. Be prepared.
Right. Where are we
Right,
planning on
wonderful.
coming out of the sewers?
Well, technically, you could follow the sewers all the way to the palace. Connected. I'm
Yes.
be able to find the path, even with the
Sure.
spell.
Ternalian isn't in the city right now, as far as we know.
Not
He's
yet. No.
fighting. Hopefully, whatever Abrunar is going to do will draw him back.
The idea.
I believe we shouldn't wait for this signal. I believe it would be best if we were in place near the palace before
Yes.
the assault on the outside walls began.
The less time we give Ternalian to recover from whatever can be done, the better.
Precisely.
I need to rest and arrange and meditate on which spells to bring with.
It is good tactics.
But tomorrow morning.
That is good tactics. However, getting close to this, while it is not under attack, will be noticed.
Within the sewers.
Got to get close to get.
Yeah.
Unless
over it-
you've got a foolproof way of teleporting through whatever they've been doing to the city, in which case you get to the palace.
Impeccable skill.
If there were trees left in the grove, yes, but
Perhaps we could take a distance.
Have teleportation attempts with an associated object been foiled as well?
Not foiled. Teleportation into the city is possible, but it never goes. Regardless of how familiar you are, or whether or not you were born in the location you're trying to go to.
Has anyone attempted with an associated object? As far as I understand, that's supposed to be the single most secure method, aside from teleportation circles directly, which we've established have been burned.
The teleportation circles have been destroyed, and yes, we've tried associated. Bairn sort of raises two of her two right hands. We could just be your distraction. The Terran Legion is going in and out, is making skirmishes against all the time. We can get in quiet. We can stealth in quietly and raise a ruckus to draw attention away from the outside while you make your entrance.
All right.
Not a bad idea.
That might be ideal, and it will allow us to hold back the main bulk of the force for when the true assault needs to begin.
Koenig thinks about it for a second. Again, not bad intentions. Realize that stirring them up early without reinforcements will be dangerous for those doing the stirring. But Darren nods. She doesn't seem like she's particularly daunted by the idea of stirring the hornet's nest in this.
Take only those who are most committed to this. I don't want anyone going in with regrets.
Just
yes, I know the Tyrian Legion very well, but
just dour looks of commitment from the Tyrian Legionnaires.
Yes, I know the Tyrian Legion quite well. However, no regrets, no hesitation.
No regrets.
My regrets. Yeah, I mean,
This is the most crucial moment to which you should not. And no wall is impenetrable. So let's make sure that we are at our finest for this.
There's the mood music I meant to play earlier and forgot to actually hit play on.
Oh yeah.
Can
That's the
somebody
thing.
link that?
What was that?
I said, can somebody link that?
Oh,
I mean, it's pinned in the channel.
couldn't find it.
Ashton,
It got
check
kind of buried.
Zoom chat.
Okay. Thank you.
Thinking through, because I've lived in the city my whole life, like having some understanding ish of how long it takes to travel through places. How long would it take to get through the sewers up to the top tier? Potentially.
Make a survival check.
Okay. Where did I put my character sheet? There. 15.
So you've actually been down to the sewers a few times as Steelhearts. Know that the entrances to the sewers are typically guarded. At least they were.
Mm-hmm.
As much for defending the infrastructure of the city as keeping people out of dangerous areas where things like gelatinous cubes might occasionally spawn.
Yeah.
And also where no one talks about it, but it releases their experiments that got a little too rowdy. So it's well guarded and also a maze. The infrastructure it's the entire sewer system for the city of Tehran, which is a massive urban city. So it wouldn't take you. It would take you only a couple of hours to get from where you're starting to where you're going. if you are using the city streets proper. Less than that if you were taking a sky taxi or anything like that.
Mhm.
Through the sewer systems, it could take as much, depending on how convoluted it is and how many paths are open or have been closed, it could take days.
Okay. I really miss that stupid, ridiculously fast skyship. Anyway.
Break the sound barrier and drop yourselves onto the palace.
Yeah. Listen, if you think I haven't thought that, how fast could a dragon fly? Could I fly us all over there real fast? Just just drop everyone, just sort of
just aerial insertion, Steelheart style.
Exactly.
I mean, if we still had that airship, we could absolutely just airdrop down on Eternally.
Exactly, it'd be great.
Because I don't think anything that flies out there is fast enough to keep up with that airship. But
we could wind walk.
Rules is
yes,
dragons are actually sort of disappointingly slow.
I mean, they're one of the fastest creatures in the air. Like, not many things have an 80-foot fly speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you translate that into miles per hour, it's kind of a letdown.
Yeah. I thought about wind walk, but we will be visible and moving very slow.
We'll be visible to creatures that can sense life essence and have the kind of magic that will still hurt us while we can't fight them back.
Yes, and it takes a while to recoalesce. So I wasn't planning on bringing it.
Sure.
You could wind walk through this. Actually, if that's not said out loud, Conan goes, wind walk through this door stuff.
Could.
Might
we go through any?
Might cut down your travel time at least a bit.
That's fair, and most of the things that live in the sewers wouldn't really be able to do much to the cloud forms.
Well, they might be able, but don't discount the Izzets leaving.
Yeah, the Izzet experiments will be the Izzet experiments might be a thing to avoid, but
all right.
The speed at which the Windwalk can move is fairly fast.
Make sure I have it then, and then coalesce before we go above ground.
If I might ask, I remember how handy it was when we were all trying to move about over the mountains and such, but I remember seeing you lot as just sort of vague clouds, but somebody more inclined to the arcane than would they be able to see what we are if they looked at the clouds?
If they have the ability to sense either magic or souls, then yes. Which is why flying directly through the city in that form would be a bad idea, because demons tend to sense souls as a source of food.
What if they have any a level of in awareness pattern, considering that a bunch of clouds moving around together as Koenig becomes Scottish.
I drag you all down with me.
Doesn't seem to occur naturally.
Yes.
Well, it was more, the Windwalk was more for getting us near the sewers. Perhaps through as well, but
as far as we can get, at least.
Yes, as close as possible as we can get.
All right, well, that leaves the question of where's our best entrance. I know the mine entrance is to the south of the city, but we'll need a way into the sewers.
Darren thinks about it. We've been mostly doing water infiltration. It smells. It's not great, but there are outflow pipes under the moat.
We will be one with the smell.
Can we get the map back up?
In the air.
Well, have you been using many of them?
One in particular.
Then let's not use that one.
So it's not evident on the map because Taram. But actually, hang on, maybe do I still have the Taram map?
I don't think you ever made a map. It's just like the list of the levels.
Oh no, there is a Taram map.
Oh,
It was like
Oh
a
yeah, it
big-
had the little, it had the bridges. I
Mhm.
remember this.
It's been so long since y'all have been into Rom.
I'm so excited.
That's what happens when you have a demon god take over the
Yeah,
city.
yeah,
Yeah.
you just sort of you abandon it, and then
You go back to see how it's changed the time you've been gone.
yeah, and someone's
Meet old
changed
friends, kill them. You know.
Yeah, someone's changed like the your weird novelty mailbox, and we could send a note to him. We just sort of put one in any mailbox there and just say, "Hey."
Oh, there it is.
Just send out mass emails.
Yeah, we can spam them. That's how we'll.
Yeah,
Defeat the
that'd be one hell of a distraction.
defeat the forces of hell through spam.
Yeah, I think this could work.
So yeah, I don't have the ports or anything visible. That was it.
That's how old-fashioned propaganda campaigns worked.
As for two of you, I think this might be the first time seeing this map. This is the city of Tehran.
Yes.
Look at it.
So you can't see it on the map, but just below the wall there, that's the outer wall. There is a moat. The river drops into a moat that's been dug, and then eventually flows out into out past the docks into the sea. And the sewage outflow in that moat. So there are a couple of I think we'll point it out on a map. There are a couple of different outflow pipes that you could go up. Darren will warn you that they are gated. There's the one that they've been using. They've been basically they've been deconstructing and then reconstructing the gate every time.
If we're missed, the gates won't matter. As long as there's
Let me just be able to
Oh,
move
we can fit
underwater
through.
though.
yes, will be air bubbles. I don't think it like affects movement underwater.
Koenig's not a
Something
spellcaster,
specific.
so he's genuinely curious. But
Appear as Wisp was cut. We have a flying speed. Dash action. It doesn't say anything about not being able to move through water.
Yeah, because gaseous form specifically does say that you can't penetrate water. It's like a wall.
Yeah, because
Windlock.
gaseous form doesn't provide like actual force or speed to it. You just sort of become a faintly floating fart cloud. Whereas windwalk, you become quite powerfully fast, and so thus it'll probably apply the same rules that swimming does, where you're moving at half speed because you have to try and push the air through the water. But
Do I remember from when we used Windwalk before? Do I remember? We could see. Could we smell stuff?
no.
Okay.
the only senses that we had were sight and hearing.
Okay.
Yep.
Grumman's sort of sitting, thinking back, and then kind of nods and goes, "Right, all right. There goes my last objection to the plan."
We're like ethereal jellyfish.
Be the jellyfish you've always known yourself to be.
I want that cross stitched on a wall hanging.
Simulator.
That actually sounds quite lovely. Did you
Yeah.
say? Did you say "see you later" like SEA?
No.
Okay.
Darren,
About to be real proud.
Darren will speak up. We'll have noticed that my magics don't seem to be affected, mostly because they're channeled through artifice. But we have noticed that some magic seems to be a little bit more chaotic than usual within the city. In addition to teleportation, there have been instances of sorcerous energies coming to life.
Just sorcerers casting spells, or all spellcasters? Any particular schools?
We haven't thrown any wizards into the mix just yet, but someone cast a fireball spell, and it decided, which is the I feel like the crucial part of the sentence there, that it would wander off.
All right.
So living spells is a thing to worry about.
Yeah, keep an eye out for that.
Potential.
In cloud form, we're still vulnerable to spells, magic.
we've taken to referring to some of them as by their effects. So she sort of like shrugs and like just like holds up a like a notepad that just has what looks like a living fire. It looks like a fireball with arms and a mouth. And just like and written underneath it is just bomb.
Ah. Sounds like a time delay thing. Weird. All right. Well, we don't know enough about that. I can't think of anything else more. I needed to check on the poison ivy I left here, but
I think at this point we've done the majority of the actual planning that we can do. Everything else is going to be individual preparation. Everyone make sure your weapons are sharp, your wits are sharper, and you're all ready for the hardest fight of our lives.
on that note, as I look up that spell, because I don't remember how it works off the top of my head, would we like to have my hero's feast in the morning or wait while we are down in the sewers to eat
I'd
it?
say let's have it in the evening just before we rest, so you still have that magical capacity for the next journey.
All right.
Aye, and I'd also prefer not to be doing any sort of feasting while we're in an unhygienic environment.
You can't get poisoned.
Well, it doesn't mean I still don't have an ick factor.
So,
I mean, technically, sure, I could eat a feast out of the sewer. That doesn't mean I want to. That's just
all right, fair.
taste is also a thing.
How have you gotten worse since giving up the mushrooms?
Look, the things you make in the Hero's Feast are quote unquote magnificent. They're gonna be fine. It's gonna taste fine.
We are not eating your magnificent feast in a sewer.
All right.
It tastes fine, but you keep throwing up because of the smell.
Yes.
To go light.
I would rule that if you throw up because of the nature of the environment, the hero's feast would have no effect on you.
All right. I'll make breakfast tomorrow morning then.
How offended Grummond is over this.
Well, as long as
gourmand.
As long as we're all agreeing that we're not going to eat it among feces and refuse and Marduk knows what else.
It's a very efficient sewer system. It's clean on the top levels.
You'll have a quite an efficient sewer system if you eat down there. I guarantee it.
Titania, your princesshood is showing.
It's clean on the top levels.
Because that's not how sewers work.
Fine.
Look, all I was going to say is, as long as I'm not serving in a sewer, then I think that also might be the time to have the Phoenix elixir. Serve it alongside the Hero's Feast.
Correct.
I forget many times that you are your nobility, and then you remind me.
Well, I'll tell you this, Sin. In my experience, that's a true sign of nobility. A high esteem for public works without any idea of how the public works.
Do you want me to heal you tomorrow or not?
Remind me to keep my offense in check. I say, coming from the noble house responsible for a significant number of the public works of my home city.
To be fair, though, Valdeth, our public works are cannons.
Yes, but they're important fucking cannons, aren't they?
All right, that's the T-shirt for tonight. Our public works are cannons.
Cannon.
Yes, they're very
Not
important.
cannons.
They're very important cannons, and also they're very nicely decorated. But still, they're not sewer systems.
All right. Other point of order.
I don't
making
know
sure we have
system,
weapons.
she says to herself awfully.
I believe correctly, that'd be a question for House Deep Carver.
Busy hiding in the drinks.
I have the mark of death on Grumman's fists right now. That sounds still accurate.
Are you taking it back because of the whole public works discussion?
I'm not, because I am a gracious.
I am a gracious lord. You can say it. It's okay.
Titania, say that with your chin just a little bit higher and your eyes pointed a little further down.
Yeah. You already look down your nose at Grumman because he's shorter than you, so you have to like really lean back into it.
I'm like 5 foot. I don't think there's that much of a height.
No,
difference.
yeah, like Valdeth and Titania are almost the same height because Valdeth is tall for a dwarf and Titania is short for an elf.
Yep. If I recall correctly, Grumman's like 4 foot something though.
Yeah,
Grumman's pretty short.
That's fair. All right, fair.
Titania, I feel like puts the extra effort into it though, like making sure she's standing up on tippy toes.
I'll make sure I wear my heels tomorrow.
Sin just visibly shrinks down. Same body, but just shrinks down to about Grumman's size.
Equal heights.
So Grumman has that. I have the dagger and my scythe.
May have a way for at least, I need to finish the calculations, but I may have a way to cause a distraction when we want to enter the sewer without you needing to cause an incursion early.
What do you have in mind?
I will let you know once I finish the calculations.
Well, we can't exactly plan around it until you do, so.
Do you need assistance? I have.
Which, by the way,
shows you the arcane formula. Can you help
Never
with this
mind.
part? Oh, okay.
Koenig puts a hand down in a large, very finely crafted leather, like wooden and leather box, and
yes, we know he smokes.
Opens it up, and there are a series of designated link pearls in it for communications amongst the command structure, as all of the various designated leaders of the grab one. There are 2 left for the Steel Hearts.
Valdeth will take one of them, and sort of looks around, grabs the second one. Ithram, if anyone needs to coordinate mass transportation, it's going to be you, and she'll hand the second one to Ithram.
All right.
We're going to be
swap it out
because we do not know exactly when distraction or signal is going to occur. We're going to keep them on. No, I was in the bathroom while my link pearl was vibrating shenanigans. Koenig says, looking directly at Valdeth.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
He just smiles. You get the sense that he picked you out because you're the least likely person for that to happen with.
Yeah.
Ergo, no one will feel called out.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, I apologize. I think Grumman would probably remember this, but it's been a few weeks out of character. Is the plan for Grumman to stick with Titania because of the sort of overlapping nature of their damage?
I mean, I think the plan's for you all to stick together.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I put it on Grumman's fist because you don't have like a magical weapon.
Yeah.
Or you don't have a
god-killing weapon.
I didn't have anything that could kill a god.
And also because you do the most physical attacks in a round.
Yeah. So statistically, it's helpful.
We're just gonna do a simple split into 6 different groups.
where you're fighting the party. You're getting ready to fight the boss. I need you to split the party into 3 separate but equal groups. When one of you gets knocked out, the others will swap in.
No, even better. 4 separate groups out of 6 people.
I forgot
equal.
to roll for my hit
Somehow.
points for this level. Hang on.
I did that right before session, so I'm right there with
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like 8. Okay, sweet.
Did
And
that
I have
last session and rolled max. I was like, God damn.
Well, we're
Nice.
short Nikki this week, but technically there's 7 of them.
We
My
don't know that in
statement still
game.
stands because split that into 4 equally.
Yeah. Who's going solo? So, the War Council winds down. Been given link pearls with the leaders of the various aspects of this organized effort. Have rest of the day. Sounds like y'all morning, and it mid afternoon at this point. About somewhere around 5:00.
we need to have dinner together to have the heroes feast, but that's it. Yeah.
While you think about what you're going to do next, that's where we're going to take a quick break. Those of you that are watching live, please stay tuned for these commercial messages. And remember, when we take our break, you take your break. So stand up, stretch your legs, move around, do whatever you need to do. We're back. A dinosaur story.
A dinosaur story. Got
I
it.
just keep fucking with the timing.
Nailed it.
it.
It depends on if you say that we're back thing very fast.
Anyways, so who wants to go first with what y'all are doing?
I'm gonna go talk to some poison ivy.
So, Tanya, you head back to the estate.
Yep.
Find your way.
And I
to
do call it the estate, just for
the estate.
yes.
You find your way back to the Golem workshop / storage area, where Ithram's broken dreams reside.
No, that book got moved a while ago.
Yes, but the dreams are still there. You find your way down. You make your way down. No, that was just inside the workshop, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You find your way over to the Pot of Awakening, in which sits a animate shrub. This awakened shrub, made up of poison ivy, currently a small creature confined to the pot at the moment. But as you approach, it moves. It's not what you would refer to as I don't think of how best to describe this thing.
Well nourished.
There's no like visible sensory organs. It is mostly a pile of roots that have formed. It's like if Groot didn't have eyes or a mouth and instead just had greenery all over it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if you took Groot, cut his head off, added some brush, that's what it looks like.
Excellent.
Hello. It reacts to you and waves.
Would you like to go on a trip?
Looks down at it looks down at the pot, looks back up at you, nods vigorously.
Excellent. There's a city that has lost a lot of greenery as I pick up the pot, and
you pick up the pot and it doesn't come with you. You realize that the bottom of the pot has been busted out and it's dug into the ground right now.
Hang on, I rummage around in my bag for something that I can.
It waves its hands and then points, and you watch as the roots detach from the ground and it just walks out of the pot.
Oh, okay. Well, come on then. It's gonna be a little bit of a journey. But quickly counts.
Make a nature check for me.
Sure.
I just gotta say,
9.
If you've seen Another Life, that reminded me of that show.
I have not.
You're looking at this awakened ivy with a 9 nature. You would say what's your total hit points value?
Now 173.
Cool. You've got about 163 more hit points than this thing has.
Okay, excellent. It's very fragile. I would like to.
Go great.
I would like to try and have anything that it would fit into. Do I have like a helmet? We got like spare helmets lying around in here, right? Maybe somewhere.
You want to put a helmet on the plant that breathes through
No,
its
I
greenery?
want to like put it in a helmet and then put it inside my bag so it will like rest.
I'm pretty certain it's like a medium creature at this point.
It's small. It's a small plant.
Is it small? Okay.
Yeah,
it's a small plant with 9 AC, 10 hit points, a speed of 20, and vulnerable to fire.
It's a shambling baby.
It does have a rake attack that does 1d4 minus 1 slashing damage, and because it's a poison ivy, a DC 10 Constitution saving throw against 1d4 poison.
Hell yeah!
We know it's over, guys. We know who's gonna kill Ternarlene.
Yeah, seriously. Ternalian, I bet you didn't see this coming. Death by anaphylactic shock, motherfucker.
Okay, Ivy. You are very fragile. I'm in love.
Oh,
I don't
no.
want you to die.
Oh no.
Ivy, I'm in love.
I could cast Death Ward on it.
Then it could take 2 hits.
Okay, that feels better. I will cast Death Ward on the plant.
Cast Death Ward
First.
on the plant.
Yep. That lasts for 8 hours.
Do you have to
Be
touch
fun.
it to cast Death Ward?
Yes, I do.
Are you immune to
God.
poison?
Hang on, I might be by this point. I don't know.
I think it
Yes,
starts by
I am
plants.
immune to poison.
Then, you touch it just fine to cast Death Ward.
I make sure to wipe off the oil that.
I'm just gonna give her dose of the elixir to this damn plant. I just know it.
Hey, you punch it and it's got 100 hit points.
Excellent. Oh gosh, I wish I had polymorph. I can't shape change you.
The plant, anyways. Oh yeah.
I know, but if it's a willing creature, I could change it into something. But I can't do that. Sad.
It seems happy to follow you around.
I know, but it's gonna die. Like all things. Okay.
Everything dies sometime, Titania.
What?
Everything dies sometime.
You should go introduce it to your friends.
Health up.
I am gonna do that. Yeah. Such a tiny wax small.
Yeah, as it walks, it basically walks by like a rolling a rolling like whip of its root systems. So it's just like this constant.
Love everything about this. Pathfinder Druid, I would have gotten a plant familiar. This is filling all of that for me.
So,
Hi, meet Ivy.
for those of you that went back to the estate, waves.
Hello.
What?
Remember that poison ivy I left in the pot of awakening?
Oh. Hello.
Wait.
Offers
Can
a,
it
hand,
talk?
What?
offers a handshake.
I wouldn't do that.
No, I know. Poison ivy. Yes.
I'll shake its hand.
Yeah. Mage hand. Shake. One of the.
There you go.
Drummond being
Turns
immune to
out
poison
plot
does not
twist,
make
it ignores immunities.
safe. It's a poison ivy plant from hell.
Yes. Anyway, so I was thinking of bringing it along because I can make plants grow really fast, and then that would cause a pretty big, barrier to something trying to get places or anything like that. But now I'm deeply invested in its continuing life and growth and happiness. So
Yeah, that's
Welcome
how parenthood
to
is
having
like.
a familiar.
Say once you give them a name, you're
Ivy.
Yep.
No, Titania, I know just how you feel. That's what parenthood is like. Sure, you have them at first, just hoping you'll get a tax write-off from the Swiggle Bureau, but then they grow on you.
As Drummond says, they grow on you. Bits of Ivy's like hand have entangled itself into Drummond's beard.
Drummond.
Oh, see, it's already making a mess. Ison!
That was a very casual way of revealing how callous your decision to have children was.
What? We were trying to start a business! It's hard in Swiggle!
And so it was. That's how we got so many kids.
Those damn accountants.
I understand your children's relationship with you so much better now.
Like I said,
The
they
one in
on us.
particular.
At least they weren't accidental. They were timed very precisely to the tax year.
Not. Wow.
Now you know why one of his children became an accountant.
Look, we have roving gangs of demonic accountants and Squiggle. You have to be very careful.
Vampiric, thank you very much.
They were vampires.
I've misjudged you, and I don't know if it's for better or for worse now that I know.
Oh, it's probably both.
Hang on, I have an idea. Can Ivy fit inside the armor? Like, just so, because I'm not allergic to it. Could I do that? Like, are there enough empty spaces in there? Because
not really. No.
shoot.
It's large enough that it would. If it was tiny, yes, but it's not tiny. It's
Okay. All right.
small.
Tanya, I have 2 questions.
Yes.
First is, how long does poison ivy typically live?
Answers? I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Is it an annual?
As
Is it
we
a perennial?
all
I
go
don't
to
know.
Google.
Yeah.
Lifespan of poison ivy.
I mean, it crops up every year.
Remains active up to 5 years.
There we go.
How old is this?
About a year.
So what I'm understanding is you want to take a child into a war zone.
No, I mean, if we calculate it out to like a regular.
Yeah, they're about 20. They
Yeah.
live for about a fifth of their lifespan
Uh-huh.
by D&D standards, because humans live to about 100.
I mean,
This plant can almost drink.
The important question is, has Ivy agreed to this?
Yes.
Oh,
Look,
then it's fine.
it's your herbal child. You do what you want. I'm just saying.
Okay.
You send it to
I
the
have-
Feywild to power level, like every other level 1 character
Yes.
does.
Yeah. Yeah, but I won't do that.
This is
But
what your level 1 awakened ivy plant looks like at level 20. It's just a shambling mound now.
Yeah, it's a shambling mound now. Okay, I'm going
The
to.
problem is, I'm pretty certain if you send Ivy to the Feywild, they'll get burned down just like everything else in that forest by
Yes,
sin.
I'm not
by
sending it to
Sable.
where.
Thank you.
Sable
by
is.
Sable, sorry.
That's it.
By Sable.
No, that would be the funny part is the ivy survives, and just the next time you see Sable, she's just covered with poison ivy rashes.
It's like covered in poison ivy
and
rashes
she's
and
that much
crying. She's like-
angrier.
Okay,
I can't
I
stop
crouch down in
crying.
front
I'm
of
so
Ivy.
angry.
I crouch down in front of Ivy. Say, it's very important. If we don't come back here, I want you to grow and protect this place and spread to Taram and destroy it. Because if we don't come back here, that means we failed. And I want you
Only
to take
if
revenge.
we don't come back.
Yes. Only if we don't come back.
Ivy nods, turns, trots over to a wall, and just hugs the wall. And you watch as bits of the ivy begin to embed under the
Excellent.
wallpaper.
All right.
They grow up so fast.
They do. Okay, that's my
There's
turn.
no way this can turn out poorly for us.
Are you gonna give it some help there, Titania?
Yes, I will. I cast
Flaming sphere.
No.
No.
not flaming sphere. Plant growth. The fancy version of it.
Let's say ivy
One
in
that
this
takes
case.
several hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're gonna spend several hours casting plant growth on ivy. Who else wants to have a thing happen?
I do at some point.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Drummond will take some time and go to there's a forge in the basement here, right?
There's a forge on the main floor.
Okay. Well, I will go to where the forge are. Where the forging things
Yeah,
are.
the forge is on the main floor of the
Okay.
house.
Yep, right there.
Okay. and I will
Workshop.
start to warm things up and get out my old family tinker's tools, mending tools, and take if I've got it, just a little bit of copper. Can we find some?
You find this is the workshop that Gent put together. You find basically there's about 200 gold worth of Eric materials here. So yes, you can find a bit of copper.
When he goes in and he starts to sort of lay everything out, and is lighting the coals and foot bellows, then sort of working the foot bellows. And as he does so, he takes off the bracelet, the coin bracelet that he got from Scuzz. Kind of lays it out, looks at it as he's heating up the forge, and then he takes a little bit of copper, which I assume is already smelted. It's ready to shape, and starts to hammer it out, and hammers it out thin, and starts to shape it. And over the course of about an hour or so, he makes a small. I can roll for this if you want me to, but
We're going
I'll
to.
tell you what.
Wait for you to...
He makes a small, about this size, copper bell in the shape of a bucket, with stamped on the front is just a little pad of butter, like just sort of melting out. And we'll take it, and there's a clapper on the inside, but he binds it up with just a little bit of leather to keep it dampened, so it won't ring unless he takes that off. And then we'll attach it to the bracelet and put the bracelet back on, and sort of sits by himself in the forge looking at it. He goes, "All right, my lad. Like I said, you're gonna be right there with me when I punch this son of a bitch in the face."
And make me a what tool proficiencies do you have?
Quite a few of them. Brewer's supplies, cook's utensils, mason's tools, and tinker's tools.
Give me a tinker's tools check with advantage. With tinker's tools with dexterity, with advantage since you're in the.
Okay. Is it cool if I use my cooking because it's the same?
Yeah, that's fine.
28.
Okay. So yeah, you make a very, very, very well crafted little copper bell. And as you sort of finish it and enunciate and speak to it a little bit, you hear the faintest ding echo from it.
He smiles a little bit and wipes his hands on his apron or on his overalls, sort of thumbs the tears out of his eyes, and cleans up the forge, puts everything away where it goes as best he can tell, and puts the coals to bed and closes up the forge.
Who's got the wooden stake dagger?
Toddy does.
I do.
Okay. So Valdeth will be having a conversation with her father while she's using the forge, because she had a thought. And I know her mother wanted to have a conversation with her at some point about her new connection to her father. But while she's doing this, she's going to forge
to be clear on that, like your mother said, we need to talk later. You seem to be very busy planning, for the attack. So if you want to have that conversation with you, you're gonna have to seek her out. She's not. You don't think she's gonna have time to seek.
Yeah, fair enough.
Might be an after Taram situation.
Possibly, but she's going to just have a conversation with her father as she's learning, more of her father, because she knew him for very little of her life. But while she is in the forge, making the most ornate and obviously special dagger that she possibly can as a decoy, the like Raiders of the Lost Ark, the big jeweled chalice. It was a carpenter. It would be a wooden chalice kind of situation. Making the jeweled chalice to the wooden chalice for the comparison between knives.
Okay.
To see if it can function as a decoy.
A smithing tools check with wisdom.
Smith tools. I am expert at Smith's tools.
+6.
31.
Yeah, no, you make it expertly. Like the actual function of putting together the dagger is something you could probably do in your sleep without making a check. This was the wisdom aspect of it was to see if you could make one that's an appreciably attractive decoy. And yeah, no, you've made a gorgeous dagger that effectively screams magic, except for the fact that it doesn't have a magical aura of any kind.
Yeah, and I will approach Ithram and be like, Ithram, do you think you could put a Nistel's magic aura on this thing to give it a similar aura to what the wooden stake that Titania has is?
Yes, but the illusion will only last about a day.
I know you can cast that one as a ritual, so if we can just sort of keep it going while we're going. Is this? I thought this was a ritual.
Nope.
Is it not? All right.
Nope. It's just something that he expended the energy to do on Gen for almost a month.
It is only a second. It is only a second level spell. So yeah.
Yeah.
If we could try and keep that running.
Yes. And he'll take it and he'll cast it on it right now.
But what aura are you?
Does the stake has an aura, doesn't it? Or does it not?
Well, I don't want to put the exact same thing on it. I want to make it.
None of you have actually looked at the stake with like detect magic or anything.
That's a good question, actually. What does the stake look like under detect magic?
Cast it.
Fine mahogany.
Is this?
It's made out of like antler.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the aura that's on the dagger is gonna be a mixture of, since he can replicate it, that's not actually it. It's gonna be celestial and evocation and abjuration magic.
Okay.
Is what it's gonna exude.
Do you use detect magic to look at the other one and see what it feels like?
Yeah.
You detect no magic off of the mortality deck.
Cool.
That's interesting.
Make a religion check.
$15.
You realize you didn't actually sense any magic at all from Abernar once he, like, except for that initial burst of power.
I thought Titania was the only one.
Yeah, Titania's the only one that could sense anything off of Abernar at all, but like you didn't get any. You normally have like a vague sense for magic when it's in the area. Like nothing specific, but you get that. You have that, like, you felt it before, where whenever something magical is happening, you feel like the hair stand up on the back of your neck and everything. You've never had that when you've only been in the presence of a god a couple of times. But except for Ternalian, who seemed to be intentionally doing it, you never had that feeling. You didn't have that feeling when you were around the God Emperor, and you didn't have that feeling around Abernar either. You get the suspicion that, like, whatever magic the gods wield specifically, unlike their servants that have this sort of celestial aspect to them, the gods themselves operate on a level that is easily detected.
Well, then I'll spend 10 minutes to try to identify and see if I can get specifics.
You identify mortality. It is plain antler that, when stabbed into something that is immortal, renders it mortal. But there is no magic associated with it that you can sense from the identify spell.
Okay.
You're sort of getting an idea that this is something akin to what y'all experienced in Coralholm, where it's less that this is a magical effect and more this thing imparts a rule of reality.
Yeah. But
when it's one of those things. It kind of makes sense to you as a wizard, where it's, when you combine X and Y, Z happens. It's like that, but on like a fundamental reality aspect rather than a magical tinkering aspect.
Yeah,
The law of nature.
Valdeth will work with Ithram to create the most ostentatious duplicate that the arrogant and foolhardy can fall for. Very, very much the like jeweled chalice to the actual Holy Grail.
Tucks the real one back away somewhere.
Yeah.
Hide.
And Valdeth will wear the duplicate.
Yeah, Ithram is he's gonna finish his calculations. He's gonna think about no, this room's too small. He's going to cast Summon Construct at 9th level. And then as soon as it's summoned...
What does the construct that you're summoning look like?
He pulls out one of the little figurines that he has a box of. And this one, let's see. Yeah, this one will be a let's see.
Wizards canonically carrying around a box of minis.
Yes. This one is going to be it's stone. And it's going to be an armored knight that's wielding dual pickaxes. And then as soon as it's full size in front of him, he's going to pull out his planar binding gem and cast that at 6th level. So it's good for 10 days.
Yeah, you've found construct. Fine.
Cool.
I'll put the stats block for.
Have you named it? It's important that you name things.
I don't know. The last thing that I named Sen killed. So
that's fair.
No, didn't you name the one that came after it?
No, I named Mal.
Yeah, and you also named Shakar.
Yeah.
Car's still
And I sent him home. Yeah, because I sent him home. But yeah. No, he hasn't named it yet.
On construct character sheet in your journal for you to edit.
All right. Awesome. Other than that, once he's done with that and helping Valdeth with her project, he's gonna spend some time with Vespia.
Felix is also hovering around.
Okay.
Felix, who for some reason wasn't there in the Feywild, yet knew exactly where you were when you got back.
Yes, your absence was noted.
Well,
we going on the
Mal wouldn't have left, but that's just you.
quarterly report.
Well. That meow carried with it a bit of a yes. Well, I have sentient.
Oh, Felix wants to get disintegrated.
Wow.
Cat's gonna cat. weird psychic astral cats still believe themselves to be the supreme beings.
Go figure.
As they should.
Mm-hmm.
They're the true great old ones.
Cats. Yes.
Anything else anyone else is doing?
Vespia wanted to practice some of her channeling now that she's not doing it through the library to kind of get a feel for it.
Okay. So you go to the practice yard and train. It feels very much the same. Just this, whatever you did that you sort of did instinctually and you didn't really understand at the time, seems to have. Your power hasn't changed. It's just not being funneled to the library.
Can she tell if it's being funneled through anything else?
No, it's coming straight to you raw from.
What that means, you can turn the tap all the way on. That's where my brain immediately goes, which is why I'm a chaos person.
Yeah, she'll just do that for a while until she gets comfortable with it.
Yeah, feels very natural still. It's almost it's like something like doing an exercise that you normally do with weighted clothing, without the weighted clothing. Sense of additional freedom and flexibility have previously. Right. Else on to the next day.
Heroes Feast before we go to bed. That was the intention because does it last for 24 hours or is it 8? Sorry, I should know these things.
Lasts for 8 hours.
8 hours. Okay, then I'm doing it tomorrow morning.
Sin is just kind of hanging around people in general, not really interacting unless interacted with.
No,
Just being a
24
presence.
hours.
4 hours?
Yep. So I'll do that tonight. So I have that spell slot back.
Yeah, the Hero's Feast is a 24-hour thing. So it's usually best used the night before you get into danger.
Yep.
All gather. A hero's
snack food. It's mostly snack food.
Mostly made of snack food, conjured onto a large banquet table that also appears with the spell.
Yep.
So you have a banquet
It's
table
mostly-
that's just covered in McDonald's and French fries and.
It's mostly
doesn't
sewage,
actually-
but really good tasting sewage.
I don't think she'd be that petty. Not that petty of a person.
Like bags and bags of.
Well, and she'll try and do like
I believe
people's...
you put an extra word that was not needed in there.
Those?
Divine.
Divine.
They're Cheetos, of course they are.
I prefer the far superior weird I could only ever get them at Halloween cheese curls with a K.
Mm-hmm.
You are
As
strange.
No, as do I.
You are strange. Now,
They're so
not
much better.
all Cheetos, but specifically the white cheddar.
Wait, they make white cheddar ones?
Cheetos.
So
I've
good.
never seen those.
Oh, they're
Okay.
fucking amazing.
Must be a West
All
Coast
right.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen white cheddar Cheetos either.
Oh,
It's almost certainly like a West Coast kind of thing.
Oh no, Ashton's also looking slightly confused, so maybe it's just a Jeremy thing.
Eh.
More the noise he made at the mention of them.
they're good.
But no, like snack food, so people can grab stuff and then go and wander off. This seems
Grapes and bread. couple of eggs.
I wish the
I'm
Fiend Hunters
not insane. They do exist.
Okay.
I wish the Fiend Hunter's cloak's flying speed was not equal to my walking speed, so I could stop being the slowest person in the party.
Oh yeah, I've had these before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
but you
said
can also just
Cheetos, I
hover
wasn't thinking cheese
literally
puffs.
everywhere. So
Yeah, I can, but I'm still the slowest person in the party, which is unfortunate.
yeah, but you
I
can do
can
the
make that not be the case.
yeah, but you can do the M Bison move. It's like just cross your arms and float everywhere.
Yeah, she's going to do that, but slower than everyone else.
It doesn't matter. It's about intimidation factor. You're dashing, but it doesn't look like it because you're just going.
As a dwarf, she has as a non-monk / barbarian dwarf, she only has a walking speed of 25 feet.
I got you.
Won't cast long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great spell.
It really is,
Marker
especially people
used.
who are slow walking
Yeah.
and need to get into melee.
And does not require concentration,
Yeah, that's
which
the
is
cool
really
part.
the important. I have a lot of concentration spells. I need to have less.
A wizard, a 20th level wizard with long strider, which hang on, with Ithra might be, it's not concentration.
These last an hour.
Yeah, it lasts an hour, but they also gain access to just cast the same spell infinitely. It's a first
Yeah,
level
you
cantrip.
could theoretically choose Long Strider as one of your
Nice.
free spells. Yeah.
Yeah, you just
just for the next minute, casting on them 10 times, you now have a speed of 130 feet.
Well, you can only have
it
one
does-
instance of a
yeah, it
spell on
doesn't
you at a
stack.
time.
Ah,
Yeah.
not a stacking one.
bummer.
But you could
Anyway.
always have it cast.
Hmm.
You're always 10 feet faster.
What? What haste does? I don't care.
Not a haste. Okay. But yes, you all are now hashtag blessed, not the blessed spell, but the all of the effects of
I love that we as a community decided that.
yeah. I hope they say it in the D&D movie. Yeah.
You know, I'd be annoyed that they included something like hashtag in it, but then that would be counteracted by the fact that it's just silly enough that
Yeah.
I enjoy
Again,
it.
like I said,
Mhm.
in any D&D movie, you have to the player characters have to be anachronistic to the setting because they're player characters.
Yeah, because player characters are always anachronistic to the setting.
Okay. Do you want me to roll the
2d10?
extra hit points for one roll for everyone, or everyone makes their own roll for
One
that?
roll for everyone.
Okay.
Make it exciting.
I do maintain the way to make that movie, to give that movie the absolute perfect twist, is
Nice.
at the end. After the after the storyline is over, the post-credit scene is like
The actors
Joe
playing
Manganiello and no, not the actors that are playing it. Like Joe Manganiello and like Deborah Ann Wool and like Mercer and Abria and the like all getting up from the table. Having
amazing.
played
Just
the
a bunch
characters.
of the famous D&D
Yeah.
nerd actors.
Brennan,
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
That would be a fantastic game.
and the director, the directing duo, get up from the DM spot.
Yeah. Because it can go for 12 people, and I think math-wise we still have 3 left over with the rest of the party, right?
1, 2,
We're
3,
missing
4, 5, 6, 7 counting. I
7,
don't know if Naomi
8,
can partake
9.
in this right now, but
Yeah.
Not here.
Okay.
so there are 4 open slots.
Annabella.
Can your Ivy get it?
Probably.
Annabella's
Yeah.
not. I'm going to say Annabella's not here either because I don't know
Okay.
that alone. Back before.
Yeah. All right. Well, then, in case 7, we have 5 left. I'm not gonna feed it to my Ivy. I told my Ivy
1,
to
2, 3, 4,
take
5,
the long
6.
road
There's 6
to
of us, right?
revenge.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's fair, but if we have the open spot and you can make your sentient plant hit points increase by 2.5 times.
We have to partake.
There-
We have to partake of by the feast, though, and
You just
You
crumble cheese dust around.
Yes.
But
Just
I
take a
wasn't
bag of
planning on
Cheetos and
taking
just
it with.
dust the
Yeah.
ivy with the Cheetos.
Put it in the soil.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Alright.
there
Apparently
are 6 slots left because
wall.
only
6
6 of
slots?
us here.
Okay. All right. In that case, one.
I would say some of the
Ivy.
leaders. Yeah.
Ivy.
Ivy.
2. A Darn. Probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Right over.
Yeah. Adam.
Yeah.
Right at him.
Yeah.
Brava.
Geist Koenig. Yeah.
Koenig.
Guys, Koenig. Yeah.
Who'd you say?
Brava.
Rava.
Your cousin.
Yeah. Yep. Not my
One
cousin.
more.
She's my niece.
Sorry, your niece. Right, your niece.
My niece.
One more.
She's
Oh,
actually.
Your mom.
Yeah, no. She's your brother's. She's your brother's. Yeah.
Yeah, brother's daughter, niece.
Your mom was the last one.
Yeah.
So.
Weird.
I know there's no reason for her not to accept it. Have a weird family feast with Geist
Is
Koenig there.
Is Ivy theoretically capable of partaking in the hero's feast?
We'll say yes. We'll say as a
Yes.
druid casting it, you can make it.
Yeah. Fertilizer.
Fine fertilizer.
Yeah.
There's just a pitcher of water they can dip some roots in.
It is-
Mhm.
Just soak.
After the plant
So, like a
growth
straw.
finished, by the way, Ivy is now a medium-sized plant
Excellent.
I just
with
picture
10
you crumbling up Cheetos
with
and,
10 hit
sprinkling-
points still.
No,
Well,
it's
now 15.
now
Well, now 25.
25, right?
Yeah.
We don't have to crumble up because it just keeps saying "feed me."
Oh my,
Well, like you said.
this is the end of the world.
It's a medium-sized poison ivy. It is.
Beautiful.
It is absolutely.
I
Audrey
really
2.
want this ivy to show up.
It is
Like,
100%
so great.
Audrey 2.
So good. I love it.
In the next
Is-
Gran Terra camp, just a wandering.
Yeah.
It's become Sable's best friend. They're an adventuring duo.
Oh no.
Sable
Is
and
the-
Ivy.
Is the hot tub currently functioning?
Yes.
Yes.
Hot
Okay.
tub never stops functioning. It's got a magic stone in the middle of
For a second there, you can do just slightly echoey. I thought you said, "Is the hot dog still functioning?"
Yeah.
it. Fine functioning.
Yeah, Vespia will go there before bed.
Lounge.
Where Thrum is too, then.
Drink the cold fire Phoenix draft as well.
Yeah.
At the Heroes
there
Feast?
were three drafts to go around, and I
Yes.
believe the people that were getting them were Ithram, Vespia, and Titania as the
Yeah,
first.
that's right.
Yeah.
And then
Can you-
Grumman has made another cocktail, not magical, but that is as similar in appearance and taste as possible for the others.
Excellent.
That way he can
Thank
sleight
you.
of hand the Phoenix draft to him instead.
I just got to roll something real quick.
Yeah,
And
so those of you that drink the actual cold fire Phoenix draft,
well, can I say a toast first?
Sure.
Okay. So Grumman sort of brings it around to everyone and says, I know we're heading out tomorrow, and I assume there will be heroic speeches and such before we ride forth and go into the sewers and such. But tonight, with all of us here around the table, I just wanted to say, I know we're going off to try and save the world, but y'all have given me the best damn retirement any dwarf could have ever asked for. I went to get a break from one family and I found a new one, oftentimes just as annoying, if not more so than my original one, but also just as loved. Thank you all. To the Steel Hearts.
To the Steel Hearts.
Steel Hearts.
It still hurts. And me.
And Sin, who has thus far refused to join our number, but I'm fairly certain if we do this, you'll remember anyway.
Yes. I'm sort of beyond that whole thing now, but not wanting to be in. But yes, time for that later.
I think if we're all going to kill a god together, we're sort of past the point about debating membership dues.
Speaking of which, none of you have been paid in years.
Grumman looks at his. Let me check.
Guys.
You turn to look at Guys Koenig and he's gone.
is 5 gold pieces and 1 silver piece.
You just ask Vespia for money.
Anyone that needs money before we go into this, ask Vespia.
Those of you that are drinking the cold fire draft. So yeah, it does have that minty, like sinus clearing quality as well as that warm, oddly pleasant cinnamon. But when you drink a full portion of it, you get this energy that sort of rises in you as the drink falls down, rather than the depressant effect that alcohol typically has as it does in agility. This, you get like sort of a spike of energy as this settles, and you feel almost like there's a small furnace in your gut, and the world sort of becomes ultra clear for just a little while. Everything sharpens, everything comes into perfect focus. Those of us that wear glasses remember what it feels like when you put contacts on, kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
You made soda alcohol, so you've just given 3 people magical 4 Loco.
Yeah, baby.
Fun story. Despite wearing glasses, I've never worn contacts.
You should try sometime. It's an experience.
No, thank you.
That's fair.
Not like eyeball touching.
Yep.
Neither did I, but then I got to see without wearing glasses, and it was amazing.
I mean, I will wear contacts for I haven't, but I do it for like aesthetic like colored contacts or like. But I have these. I don't need to stick glass in my eyes to see. Just to look different.
Really, it's
like fancy silica.
Anyways, but yeah, everything just like super clear, super clarity focus, lots of energy, feel wake and alive. Capital A. Everyone else is just a pleasant cocktail that you get.
Cool. I can see colors now. Again.
Like you couldn't before?
Everything was black and white for tonight.
Yeah, Titania's colorblind.
You just lived a life in grayscale.
I do like the idea of somebody taking this string and like just going, "Oh, that's what your skin color is." Like,
which, by the way, could I just
blue
say, is living life in gray would be the worst thing for a druid or somebody who lived in nature for the most of their time, because living or dying is based on, is that plant yellow or is that plant orange?
I mean, you could have a different set of vision. It could have,
Yeah, I was gonna say any kind of like red yellow or red green color blindness would probably be real bad for someone who lives out in nature.
Do we know how long this feeling will last for?
Idea.
Forever.
Oh, the Phoenix draft? Until you die.
Forever.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This is great.
No,
the hero speech lasts for 24 hours. The Phoenix draft lasts until you die.
The energetic,
at which point it brings you back.
The energetic qualities of the Phoenix Draft wear off after a little while, but the effect is still going.
Yeah.
Are they going to wear off before tomorrow?
It'll wear off before tonight's over.
No.
It
miscalculated.
The draft will still protect people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Caffeination of. Anyways,
the four loco hit will fade by tonight.
All right, fair.
So Vespia, after everyone finishes their feast and drink,
But the
Vespia goes to
lingering
hot tub.
effects, just like Four Loko.
Is someone joining you in the hot tub, or are you just going there to chill? You're right.
I think Ithram was coming with.
I mean, yeah, he said he was going to spend the rest of the night with Vespia after they finished
Right.
everything. So
A hot tub. Particular
they're
scene you're
married.
trying to have,
Oh, we're
or
married
no?
now. That's the last we have to see of each other. Bye.
She wouldn't let you get away with that.
Yeah, no.
What I'm asking is there a particular scene you're wanting to do, or is that just flavor? And
I'm good unless
Okay.
there's something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just spend some quality time in a hot tub with my wife. My wife.
My way.
No.
I used that as a trivia clue on Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday.
Y'all know that there's a Blockbuster board game?
No.
Blockbuster is in the rental place.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
That doesn't surprise me.
They've been out of business for so long that someone was able to buy the IP and make a board game out of it.
Trivia game.
I mean,
specifically.
Also not doing well. No, I'm just
I
kidding.
will point out that technically they are not out of business.
Yeah, they have
Bend,
one
Oregon
location, right?
There's one
as
left.
the only remaining Blockbuster.
For how long?
It's running strong.
I was about to say it probably exists entirely on that fact that it is the only remaining Blockbuster.
It's a
It is-
nostalgia thing.
It is
Yeah.
incredibly popular in the city, which is not a small city. Like it's not huge, but
Yeah,
Bend
no,
is a
I've been to Bend. It's
decently
pretty
sized city.
Yeah.
And yes, they make a lot of they do make a decent amount of money in like
Tourist shit.
merchandise sales online and the like.
Yep.
There's
Yeah,
a
'cause-
documentary about that Blockbuster. You should check it out. It's well
The last remaining Blockbuster.
I think it's called The Last Blockbuster.
It is.
Last Blockbuster on the left. It's a horror movie.
Anyways. All get a long night's rest, aka a long rest, and wake up in the morning with justice on the horizon. Sorry, hang on. Read copy. Just ice on the horizon.
Oh, I get my books.
All right, ready to do this? Titania's going around and waking people up. If you are not up, I am up at the crack of dawn because I don't technically need sleep anymore.
Drummond is up. Coffee, tea are brewing.
Are you
making breakfast?
So the drink hasn't worn off, I see.
Are you waking
Because
everyone up
Ithram's up.
with that same intonation each time?
Yes, correct.
To be fair,
Oh.
Titania never actually needed to sleep. She is an
No.
Eladrin. She trances.
I needed
Grumman,
like 4
you
hours.
just hear that sentence being repeated several times throughout the house.
Valvis is up pretty early because she's Valdeth and she does that. She's a freak of nature who actually rises early,
Or has
even after a long night drinking.
Vespia has never actually slept before, or at least not in a really long time, because she's not going to the library.
Yeah,
in her
Vespia, you
sleep.
had weird it was weird. There was it was like one of your visions, but Ithram was there, and he had a crocodile for a head, and then there was a hawk. And you don't know why that's relevant, but there was a hawk, and there was food, and you were naked. And you were embarrassed about one of those two things, but you can't remember which one.
Yeah, Vespia will refuse to wake up when Titania is waking everyone up at crack of dawn.
Ithram, can you make sure she's awake? We need to get going.
Die.
Yes.
Okay.
Edward's doing his morning crunches.
Yeah, yeah. All right. With that,
I love that. Typically speaking, in most D&D parties, you would expect the fighter to be the person who is like doing the fitness routine in the morning, but in this party, it's the fucking wizard.
Yeah.
Well, it's because the wizard needs it the most. Like the fighter gets all their cardio in fights.
Yeah, gotta get it.
I have access to a movable object. I can work out wherever.
Yeah. It's like, hang on, I need to pull up bar. Hold staff out. Immovable object. Shit.
Yeah.
Valdeth, meanwhile, her morning routine is a lot of meditation and just sort of like communing and just the winds of the spirits floating around her.
I like to think that Ithram is doing the the overwrought education montage. So it's doing crunches, but his book is suspended in front of there, so he's like studying his spells while doing the workout.
Yeah, he's still got to prepare his spells for the day.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And 1 magic missile. And 2 acid arrows. And
So Titania goes around and makes sure everyone is awake, or is going to be awake soon, hopefully. She's trailing petals at this point.
Craig.
I just wanted to ask if Vespia, the first time she had an actual just regular night of sleep, she woke up and was like, what the fuck was that? Where did I go?
Technically, she's had one normal one before this in the Feywild, if you call that normal.
Right, but I mean, was that super weird? That might have been the session.
Yeah, I mean, it's an adjustment.
Okay.
all wake up. There are flower petals all over the house. Ivy has consumed at least one portion of the wall.
Excellent. I make sure it gets fed and watered.
Is Ivy actually a kudzu?
I mean, what happens when you grow with the poison ivy?
Oh no.
Great things happen.
We're never. We're gonna leave this place. We will. This is our last time here, folks.
Look, I'm resistant to poison. I'm not immune to it.
Titania gave Ivy a very specific order.
Huh?
Yeah, and there was this very specific condition on it too.
I mean, yeah, but it takes a long time to grow that big, so you got to start now, just in case.
Yeah. It'll be okay.
This thing could. Oh, we're never coming back here.
You're not.
Uncertain cup of coffee.
Ooh, foreshadowing. Just kidding.
What was that, Greg?
Oh no! I was interrupting. Please go ahead.
Oh no, I was just cackling at the actions.
Have you seen kudzu and what
Yes,
it
we
does?
we live in Georgia.
Yeah.
We've seen lots of kudzu.
It's everywhere.
Takes over our backyard.
I was. Mara's the one that's super excited.
No, I have
so
not.
It makes places unlivable.
Yeah.
So
Come to our house.
It's called the Foot and Night Vine because it literally can grow a foot in one night.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
So
I just probably haven't seen it.
have you ever seen pictures of like what it looks like a shaggy tree?
Uh-huh.
That's a dead tree that kudzu has replaced all the leaves on.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yep. It's gonna be great. I'm excited.
Just it chokes the light out of things. Anyways. Yeah. Well, gather your things, prepare yourself, have a morning snack.
Because someone thought it was pretty and decided to bring it over from Asia, where it had locusts that could act as natural, inhibitors on its growth.
Mm-hmm.
And then it came to America, where there were no locusts. And then it got out of hand.
Pretty early on, names have escaped my brain. Adairn and Armor and the rest of the Tyrian legionnaires arrive at the estate. You see that the full might of the Tyrian legion that is presented before you is 12 soldiers in Adairn. all of whom, except for Adarin, look particularly battle hardened and not in a good way.
Yep.
Right.
That's what kudzu does to a parked anything.
Uh-huh.
It's a school bus. It was a school bus.
I mean,
regret no-
the school bus is what it is, but look at behind the school bus. And the
Uh-huh.
school bus is there for scale. Pretty
Understand-
much.
Understand that there's a house in that.
Yes.
No, there's
I
not.
regret nothing. This is
You can see it if you look at the back end of the bus.
Never coming back here. Ever.
You can see the fence in front of the bus.
Oh.
Ithram did change his signature spells. The second level isn't Vortex Warp anymore. It's one that he learned recently. Curse Ward. So
That sounds useful.
yes. For 24 hours, a target that I touch gains resistance to necrotic damage, can't be cursed, possessed, or targeted by a hex. Also, its maximum hit points can't be lowered. And if it's already affected by something that does that, the effect is suspended.
Curse
so you
ward
should put
turn
that on all of us because you cast it for free.
That was the plan.
You could curse ward Ternalian to TPK
Yes,
the party.
you're not wrong. I could do that. I'm sorry. I'm not going to. Actually, I'm not sorry.
All right, guys, I'm
You
going to cast the
presumably you
spell.
curse ward all of us.
Yes,
How long does it take to cast that?
an action
Is that your signature spell for the day? Can you change your
for
signature
second
spell?
level. Yeah,
Oh,
after each long rest. I'm gonna probably change out the first level one too. I just haven't chosen it yet. Because right now I believe it's a magic missile.
I mean, free and infinite magic missile, even at level 1, still pretty good.
Yeah, no,
Well,
that's
well,
what I'm saying. I
strictly
might
speaking,
not.
your spell mastery spells.
Spell
because
mastery, yeah.
The
spell
signature
is third
spells
level.
is like two
It's a
third
free
level spells
casting,
that you
yeah,
get once free each. Yeah.
Yeah, that's counter spell and lightning bolt.
nice.
Yeah.
All right. But yes, Adarin and the Legion appear, ready to drive you, because you see that Adarin has brought with her a heavily modified troop carrier, very similar to the thing that took you to the light wall way back in episode 1.
Yeah, this feels familiar.
Memories.
So it's been modified, but I managed to salvage this from Turham. So hop in and we'll be there soon.
All right, Steelhearts. Fall out. Let's go.
As you get in, you see that there are several, all of the Legionnaires that are here are Warforged. You notice that as you're getting in. You also notice that in place of the normal rows of seats that were on the previous one that you were on, there are recesses in the walls, each of which perfectly fits one of the Warforged. And all of them just go immediately to one of them and just back, and there's a clicking sound as they sort of slide back walls. They're not fully obscured, but they are resting inside the wall. Leaving plenty of room for the rest of you, but no chairs. At the front, Karen sits in, drive the thing.
That's all right. I'm too nervous to sit.
Back doors, this massive vehicle close, and it starts up and it begins to drive.
Grummond has left a little plate of breakfast, a cup of coffee, and a small tankard of good ale by the ivy, by the way.
Thank you.
As you walked away, a tendril of ivy just nicked up and grabbed this plate and snuck around and grabbed the cup. then dragged the cup to the ivy.
Also, that's been following us is the construct that Ithram made last night.
Oh, yeah.
just silently following behind us. It's the same size as each of us. It's the size of a person.
Yep.
Excellent.
There are pickaxes on his back.
Have you named them?
No.
Pickaxe.
Vespia just nervously staring at this thing.
Emotionlessly not staring at anything.
Stone statue of armor.
Yes. It's going to take about 3 hours to get to Taram. Assuming that act by fiends. So what are y'all doing in those 3 hours? If anything.
Titania has wild shaped into a puppy again. Yeah. Sort of curled up.
There is a dog on the transport now.
Yep.
What kind of dog?
Something like a Newfoundland, I'm imagining. Something very, very mostly poof. Mostly fur.
Mm-hmm.
There is a large pile of dog fur in one corner of the transport.
I'm a rug now. And she's got her eyes closed and she's concentrating. She's just waiting for any sense of that feeling of something happening in case, as we're traveling, we get a signal or something like that. She is kind of on alert.
So I believe the mark of war. There's one mark on Valdeth's sword.
Star metal gunblade.
Yeah, the star metal gunblade. Sin has that. Ithram will ask to see Vespia's whip sword.
She'll hand it to him.
And then he'll mark it with the second one.
What does that do?
It now ignores any and all damage resistance or immunity, basically.
Yeah.
And can be thrown, but that's less relevant.
Yeah. 4 times your strength. Sorry, twice your strength for short range, 4 times for long.
She will take it back.
Yeah.
Thank
you. When you need to throw a sword.
It's a whip.
Does it have the returning? Does it have the returning property?
Yes.
Cool.
Nice.
I can throw my sword at distances if I need to. Although that's what I have NP for. So.
Yeah, but if you throw it, it does slashing damage.
You got options.
I don't know a situation where slashing damage would be preferable to thunder damage.
Cutting a rope.
Yeah.
Left puddings.
Cutting a chain.
Yeah.
Crystal dragons.
But yeah.
Note to self: add crystal. All right. So,
Grummond is writing letters.
Okay. So aside from the heavy breathing of a dog that is far too unseasonable for the weather of Drum, and the adjusting of marks and spells, are you doing anything else magic-wise?
Yeah, I am going to curse ward everybody.
Curse word, everybody.
Sweet.
So everybody has resistance to necrotic, Can't have your hit point maximum reduced. Can't be possessed, marked by a hex, or cursed.
Nice.
At about the hour and a half mark, you hear Adairn calling back from the driver's seat. Everyone, hang on. We're about to get bumpy.
I shift back into myself.
Bumpy how?
You hear the engine rev, and you start hearing things hitting the sides of the vehicle.
That's about what I thought.
Right.
Ooh.
Are any of you looking out the front window where Adairn is?
Yes,
Valid
absolutely.
will be, yeah.
There is a swarm of flying fiends that are bodily assaulting the vehicle, and she is just plowing through them as fast as possible.
Valid sort of leans in the the movie shot of the person leaning in from the back compartment, just sort of looking out the windshield. That's about what I expected.
Yes, well, if we stay too long, they will destroy the vehicle, but I've armored it so that ramming through them means we take less damage.
All right. Hang on. Out of all of us, who has the Phoenix Feather drafts again?
You, Ithram, and
Vespia.
That's
Yeah, Ithram and Vespia. Okay.
Mm.
Valdeth, you are getting a death ward.
All three of you have resistance to cold damage as well, by the way, in case
Yep.
I got lost.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna need the whole effects.
It's in the handouts.
It's in the handouts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Forgot about that.
Yeah, resistance to cold damage until you die, and when you die, you come back to life with 1 hit point and 100 temporary hit points.
Also,
Yep.
when
Awesome.
you die, not when you hit 0 hit points, you have to fail
Yep.
3 death saves or be coup de grace while you're on the ground, and then you come back.
Yep. Sin, come here.
Fail all your death saves or keep
That sounds ominous,
resistance to die.
Sorry, please come here.
on edge, and a little thrilling. I'm not gonna lie. I walk over.
I cast death ward on you. She does like a trace thing.
Finish it with a slap.
Anya, I didn't know you cared.
Everyone make an acrobatics check.
Acrobatics.
Realize now why the troopers are mounted to the wall.
Ooh,
9.
Oh, for
18.
A1 for a total of 13.
Oh, Drummond.
7.
As half of
That's
us go
beautiful.
"Ah!" over
Yeah.
the edge.
Well, I mean, it's enclosed, so
Actually, you know
Yes.
what? No.
Somehow we still manage to go over the edge.
Valdeth just sort of like hovers slightly off the ground and just holds on to one of the bars
Actually, I will.
so that she
yeah.
can't
I
feel
mean-
the bumps.
With
I'm-
a
I'm-
12,
I'm
do
gonna-
you?
Craig,
I'm going to spend the key points to re-roll that if I
Okay.
can.
I like how you roll a natural 1 and it's still almost
Yeah.
double what I rolled with a positive.
22.
so Valdeth, you go to hover, and you realize your mistake as the back of the vehicle hits you.
That's why she's holding on. She's holding on to
Yeah.
the bar that she was
You're
sitting
holding
next to.
on, you go to hover, and what happens is the vehicle hits something and ramps into the air and is proceeding forward faster than you are. And holding on
It's
to
a
something
common
while you're
problem with
hovering
vehicles.
is difficult. So you hit the back wall, as does Sin and Ithram. Grummond, you go to jump. You go to like jump with the bump, thinking it's just going to be a bump, and you sort of get that instinctual. Hang on a second, and like sort of monkey grab the wall, like the wall, like latching on to one
Okay.
of the legionnaires. That's one of the legionnaires that's mounted into the wall.
Hello. He says
Hello.
right into his face.
It's like this mechanical reverberation of hello. Somebody hit the back. Slight heavy hit in the back of the head. No damage, just a little stunned. As the vehicle. Something feels like it bends underneath the vehicle, but it continues to roll on.
When we hit the back, is it like one, then the other, and then the other?
It's one. Valdeth is first, and then the other two go at the same time.
Okay. Ithram, just for because it's funny, Ithram weighs 200 pounds, so
It's all right. Valdeth can lift you with one hand.
Yep.
You check and the door is locked, so you weren't in super danger. So long as all of you didn't fail, you weren't in danger of falling out the back of the truck.
Excellent.
But you feel like you're getting closer as Adairn begins calling over his shoulder. All right, if you're wanting to get away before, while we operate as a distraction, there is a floor hatch you're going to want to carefully dive out of when I say. So be prepared.
As we're already in the process of flipping.
Excellent.
You just heard jump. Okay.
Yeah, there's a floor hatch. If you open it up, the first thing you notice is a fiend. Except it doesn't. It's not actually making that sound. You realize that its head has been detached from the rest of its body. That's a muffler that's inside of it making that sound.
Valdeth opens the hatch. Huh. Picks the fiend head up and just tosses it down.
All right, I'm going to cast Windwalk right now.
All right.
So we're prepared. Because it takes a minute to cast.
All right. You can hear, now that the floor hatch is open, you can hear this sea of fiendish cries. Growls, threats, yells, screams, promises of violence and dismemberment, all floating in as this cacophony of just echoing sound coming up from the floor. As you get an idea of the mass volume of fiends out.
Grumman looks at Titania sympathetically and kind of shrugs and goes, accountants.
Worse than accountants.
Scientifically impossible.
Pats him on the shoulder.
After a minute, you finish casting Windwalk.
Yep.
I would argue it can get worse because there could be a god of accountants.
Fiend accountants.
I mean, fiend accountants are just accountants, but there is almost certainly a god that oversees it all.
Yes,
and that is worse.
It's Larithia.
Larithia.
Is the goddess of accountants.
That would make sense.
Grumman's jaw has gone slack, and he's staring off into an inner hellscape of his own imagining.
So take a d6 for psychic damage.
I did it. I finally broke him.
It's just fucking Phantasmal Killer is just a person with an accounting cap, like a.
Oh, the stupid like tinted green visor thing.
Yeah, the green visor. It's just Matthew Roderick from the producers. Adairn. On my mark. 3, 2, 1, go!
Everyone is a cloud of mist, just
mist and drop.
Zip.
As you mist and drop, you can turn and look back, and you can see that Adairn has hit a ramp, basically, that has launched the vehicle over the moat towards the closed gates of Taram. The cloud of mist basically drops out from underneath and hits the water of the moat. And so the last thing you see, if you're looking up, is that car smashing into the front gates of Taram and a fiery explosion following. As you into the water. Go ahead and give me perception checks, anyone that wants to.
Was that on purpose?
28.
19.
Yeah, I rolled high today. 14.
19.
Grummond, you try to ask that, but you are a fart
24.
cloud, and so it's just.
Bubbles.
With a natural
Nice.
20, then you are the first. You can see that there are 3 sewer outflow pipes underneath you where you're at. Each of which seem to have pressure coming out of them. You can tell that there's sort of like darker, like sort of greenish yellow liquid that's sort of bleeding out into the much clearer rest of the moat and then funneling off towards the sea.
Okay.
If you want, you can direct the rest towards it, but
Yes,
Grummond would
yes,
also
yes,
see
sorry.
it pretty quickly after.
Sorry, the words entered my head and then just kind of
ADHD.
Also,
hung out there.
Yeah.
Also, Valdeth, whose perception was higher than both of them, even without an
Oh,
natural 12.
yes, Valdez, yeah, you would also.
Grumman would actually be focused on the explosion. Is there any sign that anybody either escaped before the explosion or made it out, or
24?
is
Can't tell. You
walking out looking like a badass, not looking back?
you got the wrong angle to tell. Like
Okay.
you saw the car disappear over the edge of the other side of the moat, and then there was an explosion, sort of backdrafting back over the moat.
Cool.
You can make another retroactive perception check for me.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be a 25.
Nice, and then make an insight
Hey.
check for me retroactively.
That's a 28.
So with a natural 20 on that retroactive perception check, you do recall seeing Adairn have a look on her face as she was counting down. And with the insight, you realize Gent's not the only mad scientist in the Minar family. She was excited about something.
Oh god, she did blow up.
So you think it was intentional?
Right, okay. I've also seen Gent look really excited before things went terrible, so...
It's true. You have that background history as well. But yes, it was a look you've definitely seen before on Gent's face.
Okay, alright.
Don't see a body, they're still alive.
I mean, last time you saw a body and she was still alive.
Eh,
Do
exactly.
the-
Even more reason to doubt that she's dead.
Do these 3 outflow streams, any of them look different? Are they all kind of identical?
Pretty uniform. You see that there are more down the moat as well. Taking a
Okay.
quick glance, it looks like there's probably about 13 or 14 outflow pipes.
Okay.
Valdeth will just lead the way down one of them.
Closest
Doing
one?
the circle like freaking baseball hand gesture
Yeah.
type.
Because by this point, we're a well-oiled machine.
Theoretically, yeah.
Grumman watches and then just sort of like waves back.
Well oiled
And then
with vinegar oil.
And then the clouds start moving into the pipes. I imagine it's a lot easier to see who is where when they're surrounded by water because they're just visible air
Yeah,
bubbles.
more visible.
Yeah, you're much more visible.
Oh, yeah. Can we just form ourselves into arrows to point in directions now?
Yeah, like a school of fish.
What? Yeah. Sin forms themselves into a middle finger and uses that to point everywhere. Yeah, so you go down the closest outflow pipe. Try desperately not to think about why the water is the color that it is. And you go up it. It's a bit difficult.
Sounds dirty.
It's a bit difficult going. You're already moving at half speed for being underwater as gaseous as clouds of air, basically. But now you're actively moving against the flow of water. And you don't have a whole lot of mass to do it with. I'm going to need wisdom saving throws from everyone as a representation of basically you doing athletics, but as a fart cloud.
Don't we have advantages?
We have advantage on this because of
Because of Heroes Feast.
Heroes Feast.
30.
I'm really excited to roll a
26.
1 and a 2. Nope. I did well. Ish.
25.
Well, I did a 3 and a 4, so not far off. $15 total.
As it turns out, Valdet's wisdom save is in fact the same modifier as her athletics check.
There you go. Yeah, none of you. Vespia lags a little bit behind, but all of you managed to keep moving well enough. Which I base off of the off number for Vespia and Grumman, the lower of the. Eventually, flowing up the outflow pipe, you find yourselves emerging in what seems to be some sort of turbine. Or at least it was. The turbine isn't active. There's this large metal spiral not moving. That the water is flowing out and around. But there is air in here. So you can. There doesn't seem to be any physical place to stand other than on the turbine. Seems like this is probably not a place that people are meant to be physically. Go ahead and give me either investigation or perception checks.
Natural 20 for 32.
2. Why did I do investigation instead of perception? Can I change one?
Either or, you chose one.
There we go. 20.
Shoot, I still have
Just add a 0. I rolled a 3, so 15.
Apparently, I'm perceptive right now.
Yeah. You too. Natural 20 Valdez is the first one to see. There is no like exit for like a person, but you can continue to go up the outflow basically. There's a large grate of water flowing through that leads into another room. However, you see there is an observation. There is like sort of an observation port. And that looks like it might also be designed to be a maintenance hatch. Were you in physical out? And on the other side of the observation port, you see what looks like a at first you think it's a knoll. But then you realize it's far more rat-like than dog-like. As there seems to be some sort of ratkin creature. Just looking down at the water flowing out the turbine. Doesn't seem to be looking at
the were-rats of Taram.
Doesn't seem to be looking directly at you. But it's just sort of like watching the water.
Don't need to bother that thing. We can keep going.
No, you can. And as you continue on the upflow out the turbine section and into the sewer proper, that's where we're going to end. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.